Microphone on. What do you think? Turn the microphone on. Does that work for everybody? So you can hear me? Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. I'm running a little late here, and it's all Jen's fault. We made our paycheck today in 10 rolls like we're supposed to, right? That strategy, the Latterson strategy, they work perfectly like it's designed. Like when it works like it's designed, it's so much fun, right? It's like set a don't, get a couple of box hits, 7 out, repeat, and you're out of there in like 8 rolls, right? Beautiful thing. Made it early. We'll talk about it in a minute, what to do with it. What we're going to do with the shows here coming up. But yeah, after that, make the coffee, and I had to feed the dog and everything else. So I'm running late. Sorry that I'm late, but it's Jen's fault. And here we are, 8:08 a.m. or 8:10 a.m. And let's get going. Coffee and Craps. I want to jump right into the Latterson. I have to do some data entry here for you because we are so late. I didn't get a chance to put the numbers in. So give me a second here. I'm going to switch my screen for you. And we're going to go with this. Give me a second here. Let's put in the numbers because I'm so bad last couple days. So yesterday, I had to put in yesterday's and today's. So yesterday it was 5-3 all day yesterday, right? May 3rd, 5-3. We bought in for 5,000. We ended up winning 381. Okay, today, which is May the 4th, so the Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. Bought in for $5,000 and we won 574. Okay. So far, so good. We've earned back the money we lost on Monday, which was the day that I played this thing probably as wrong as I could have played it, right? So at 469 in profit, 9.38% total, but it's not bad, right? We've battled back a little bit. For the week, we have 1 day's paycheck. So not ideal, but it is what it is. I will change this screen. Actually, I'll just change it now while you're watching me. So we're going to be 3-1. 3-1. We're going to be at 469 and 938. So plus 469 and 9.38%. This is me doing show prep. This is what I do every day for you guys. Hit the play button. Back to the show we go. Let's go back to my pretty face. And there it is. There's the show. Now we're back to, right? If we had money, right? If we were a real show and had a producer, there'd be a producer sitting over there typing all this crap in for me, so I look like a boss. As it is, I look like a schlep trying to do it live. But here it is. We're 3-1 this week, okay? $500 in profit. I will contend this. If I didn't do the right side crap, right? Trying to go across 64 or whatever, trying to get some fun, because the thing is, and I'll be honest with you, right? I fell victim to FOMO. I really did. Week before, we played the Latterson, and even though it won every single day, it was 5-0. And really, we had 2 days where it was like a little bit squirrely. One day, I had a 60 roller, 58 roller, whatever it was, right? And we still made $500. This thing still fought back and won $500 that day. It survived that. The next day, I had a 40-something roller and 2 20s, and it still fought back. And I'm like, this is a fighter. It's a fighter. But then I thought, man, I'm not getting my action. I'm not getting the right side action. I'm missing out on a 60 roller. Everybody else made 10 grand. I made $500. That sucks. Let me throw some right side into this thing. And I'll tell you what, that right side action cost me the $800 on Monday. It limited our profits every other day this week. And in fact, I think it's the reason why yesterday I had to take a second session, because we bled out. We bled out that 110, 160 every single time. There was twice where I was at like $5,200 in profit. We would have been at paycheck had we not had the right side play. So lesson learned is this. If you're going to do a paycheck strategy, we've talked about these things. These paycheck strategies have got to be low volatility. They've got to be black chip level. If you're going to do this, you got to win. You should only have to win a handful of times. You can't be out there at $10 wins forever, right? And you've got to be clean. I think the hybrid stuff dirties it up a little bit, and that's what happened to us. We got dirty last couple of days, and you feel the pain. Everybody's out there going, "Don't do it, don't do it." The right side bets suck in this strategy. You got to just be, you got to do the right thing. So we're learning about that. The paycheck style of play requires clean bets, requires big bets, and it requires the right rhythm to make it work. So anyway, we're doing good. We're back up a little bit. Overall, the 401g account is down because we had 2 big losses a couple weeks back when we first were messing with it. So it'll take me forever to recover that, but we will at some point. All right, what else is happening here in chat? I want to put this up really quick. I want to go back to let's see, we're going to go here and do our come out roll. And before I even start talking about stuff, I just want to put this up because Skill says he's doing okay. That's good. I'm glad that you're here. And I've seen that some people have reached out with some help, and that's good. I know that because they've reached out to me to help, to ask me how to help you. So good, I'm glad we're there. You're also asking this, math short game versus math medium versus math long. We will talk about that today for sure. We're going to do a little bit more of the probability math. I want to show you some stuff on the table. I'm going to repeat some of the math, and then we'll look at the plays that we're going to make based on that, right? And again, you got to kind of combine. There's a bit of short time and a bit of short bankroll that both come into play here if you're playing the mathematical game. I think the segmenting your money per shooter is actually a mathy way to play, and I don't begrudge that. So here we go. What else is going to happen today? Let's see. The daily paycheck note. Okay. I know we're in kind of a weird trend, and I've been bitching all week about this, so I want to make sure that we're clear. The paycheck is fine. I think the new rhythm, you can agree. Tell me if in chat, by the way, for those of you who are playing with me on Crapsy, the last 3 days I've stopped doing the whole, announcing what we're doing, and I've been going faster. It seems like people are still making bets. I don't know if that's off-putting or not, but that's what I'm going to do. So I think we're gonna just no Crapsy like advertisement. I'm just gonna play. Type the rolls in. If you can keep up, you keep up, right? I think the commentary between the rolls is faster, right? It's quicker. It's more on point. It's not me mumbling around about telling you to get your bets in. I think it makes the shows better. And again, remember that besides making my daily paycheck, I'm also putting out content here, right? We want to make sure that people get a chance to see the strategies roll against real dice and hear what's going on, and they're not there to watch you guys bet, right? There's 50 people that watch that morning show, which is great. There are 500 people that watch the show afterwards, and those 500 people that watch it afterwards don't care about your bets. They care about watching me roll. So I'm going to try and keep the show about me rolling and about me making the bets. And if you can keep up with me, great. I think that's the right rhythm for it. So if you're out there saying, yes, it's good, let me know if that's still okay. I'm planning to keep doing it. Now, we're still talking about flipping the shows. Maybe doing this show first, that show second, so that if a day goes long, it just goes long and who cares? It doesn't bleed into here. So I'm still considering that. Maybe in a week or two, we may do that. We will see. Other things to talk through. Skill and luck. Yes, you're doing better. I'm glad that you're here and doing good. That's awesome. Again, if you want to help Skill out, we know we've talked about what's going on over there with the FMLA stuff and the work thing. So if you want to help out, you can always drop me an email. And by the way, john@procraps.net, if you just want to say hi, it's cool. It takes me a day or two to get back to you, but I will definitely get back to you. Or at John Kokas on Discord. Either way is good. What's not on this screen that we should talk about is Friday Night Fights. Friday Night Fights are happening tomorrow night. They're going to happen with a new scheme, though. I'm going to try something tomorrow. I've been talking about, I should have made a screen for this, but I've been talking about using EVMux as an alternative streaming platform. So for those of you who are content providers, you know what I'm talking about. I use OBS, I use Ecamm. Some folks use OBS. Some folks use StreamYard. Jeff uses vMix. All these apps you can use on your computer. EVMux runs on the browser, and it's high def, it's HD quality cameras, it's got built scenes, and I can, for one price, $40 a month, allow everybody, Chiro, whoever, Chris, Craig, all you guys can stream through my account, the CGTV account that your super chats, by the way, pay for. You guys are watching ads on these shows, you're doing super chats, that pays for that service, $40 a month. I use that. Now we can start all sharing the same account and getting Ken, for another person, to stream through it, which means everybody's stream quality goes up. The screens will all look like this one with a little bottom thing on it, you know what I mean? It'll look nice, really nice. So I'm working the kinks out this week, and maybe like next week we can do a little trial, but I'm gonna try myself on Friday Night Fights, and we'll see how the quality of the show is. As far as cameras go and lag, we'll do this Friday night with that. So we're gonna give it a shot. See how it goes. But yeah, basically anybody who's doing live streams in our community, I want you to be live streaming, you and your live streams through CGTV. And if you do, we'll share a common utility as far as look and feel and a common app. And the reason for that is this. A, I want the traffic on CGTV, obviously. Makes the channel bigger, makes money, blah, blah, blah. But more importantly, live streaming on your regular channel is not good. Okay, Alfredo has figured this out. Jeff has figured this out. Jeff goes live and hides the videos because YouTube doesn't like live videos. As far as putting ads on them, it sucks. There's all sorts of issues with live videos. Mark the point, you'll figure this out soon enough. When you do live videos, YouTube penalizes you. So CGTV is here to be the place to do the live streams. That's why it's like a TV channel. I don't care if this channel gets penalized. We can handle the penalties because we're not here to make advertising money, right? Your regular channels are. So that's why CGTV exists. And I think if we use EVMux as the streaming platform, we can make the screens look pretty, easy to use, and Bob's your uncle. So there's that. That's going to happen this week. I'm going to work with Chiro first, try and get some setups done with him, and the camera's done. We'll do Friday Night Fights, and then we'll start rocking it. There we go. Lives on a private channel would be useful, but private channels, YouTube makes you charge for it, right? Patreon, same thing. You can, I'm not here to charge you all money to watch me talk, right? So we could do that. That's a whole different level, right? A whole different level. When CGTV becomes an actual TV station, and it will, then there'll be a fee associated with the app, but not yet. We're not there yet. Not even close to be there yet. All right, that's that. Next up, we're gonna get back into some play. I'm gonna go to the table here in a minute and play some craps. And Ken's waiting on you, buddy. Yeah. Once I get the screens made, we'll do a test run. You and me will do a test run. Chiro already has 2 cameras. He's easiest to test. Old Bay also can be easily tested with this thing too. He's got multiple cameras as well. They all come in. EVMux takes all the cameras in. So it makes it ridiculously easy to do this, which is awesome. Anyway, let's get back into a quick recap of why we're doing this. I think I have 2 more weeks of this same topic to go through, which is kind of the, we want to talk about your mental state. Right? And again, why do you play craps? Why do you play craps? Why do you play craps? Why do you play roulette? Why are you at the casino? What are you there for? Ken from Ken Knows Gambling answered the question for me. Why are you going to the casino, Ken? Make that paycheck. Stuff the envelopes. I'm there to make, most of the time, to make a paycheck. Right? I'm there to build my bankroll. I'm bringing $1,000. I'm looking to win 200, and I'm making my 401g account grow, so that at DiceCon, which is going to happen in a couple of months, I can bring 10,000 with me. That's the whole point, is to build the bankroll so I can play with nice sized chunks of change. That's the entire point of my play. Build the bankroll so I can play bigger on the trips. Eventually, I want that bankroll big enough to play daily, like my daily paycheck. I want to build it to 100K and play that way, right? I won't do the daily paycheck until I got 100K in that account, right? I'm looking for consistent wins. Some people, JB, as you know, my friend JB, who does Fireside Crap sometimes, he's looking for disposable income. He's got money, and he can burn some money to try and hit home runs. He's going to go across or go inside and beat the crap out of the casino whenever he gets a chance to, because he's got disposable income to make disposable income with. That's why he's there for that. No, let's get it done. Some of you all are there for comps, free trip, free room. You like the free dinners, all that stuff. That's great. Play comp-friendly strategies. Some of you are there because you want to advertise on Facebook and be awesome, right? That's fine. If you want to do that, if you want to be famous that way, it's all cool, right? But you got to know who you are, right? If that's your goal, right? Which of these personality types are you, and does your personality type match your goal, right? Today we're talking about Mathletes. This whole week's about math play, right? Line play, probabilities, understanding the odds. Maybe playing a little bit of a short game, getting the hell out of Dodge, right? And being okay with a short game. That's a fine way to play if you're in tune with it and if that matches your goal, okay? The mathlete is probably not gonna make a lot of disposable income. They're gonna make more consistent plays. But we're gonna talk about them today anyway, okay? And the last piece of it, of course, bankroll, right? Make sure your bankroll matches what you wanna do. Bankroll's gotta be matching your play style and your personality and your goal. If you only have $500, bubble craps, roll to win, stadium craps. That's where you got to be. Smaller size bets, you last a little bit longer, You can be more aggressive and you can do your things that way. $500 at a big table, $25 minimum bet. You're going to have to play more of a math game. Pass line with single odds. That kind of a game, one bet. Little don't pass ladder action, right? A little bit of that. That's where you're going to be. Bankroll's got to match up. All right. Yeah. The poor tourist and their comps. You're right, Dustin. And the thing is, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. People think, and I'll tell you a story. This is actually a really good story. Let's go back to the screen where it talks about it, because I think it's important to talk about this. The comp thing is interesting. I've never been a comp player. My parents were, right? When I was younger, my parents were comp players because we lived half hour from AC. They go to AC a few times a week, had enough play stacked up. We went up there and they would bring family in. You guys can stay in AC, come visit us at the house, that kind of thing. Nobody paid for anything in Atlantic City. And that was back in the days where it wasn't computerized. So the rating system was different back then, and we got all the comps, right? We ate for free, we stayed for free, all that stuff. And really nothing's for free. None of it's for free. It's cost you, you're not getting comps unless you're A, losing, or B, have a high ADT, right? Your average daily theoretical loss. ADT is your loss, your projected loss. The higher your projected loss, the more comps you get. That's how the system works, right? So if you're losing more money or potentially going to lose more money, in other words, 64 across versus 640 across, right? Your ADT is way higher because your bets are higher. That's what it comes down to. And I'm like, I don't ever really want comps. I never cared because I didn't want to play. And here's the mindset thing, right? Why do you play? I don't play for comps. It's nice when they come, right? I have a card and I give them my card and they rate me, and I don't beat them up over the rating because I'm not there for that. I'm there to play my game. And if comps come with it, comps come with it. I've always kind of had that mentality about it. Now I'm looking at actually being a casino host. I'm looking at taking the test and getting certified as a host to see the other side of that whole system and how comps really work and how it all happens. There's a couple sides to that thing, right? But if you're literally playing for comps, you're probably playing a different game. You're probably got bigger bets. You're doing a lot of things that you maybe wouldn't do as a normal player. So comp play is a whole different animal. It really is. It's a whole different thing. Jen says not casinos, cruise comps. That's actually, I can get behind you on that one, right? There it is. So that's, I think, yeah. Analyzer says, build the paycheck for events like that's what I'm doing. Right now, my 401g account's low. So I'm building it up for that kind of thing. So yeah, I think the comp play is interesting, and I don't get sucked into it. It's a piece of the puzzle, right? It's a piece of your play. Don't let it drive your play. It's like I say to the math guys, all right? When I talk about the math players, I tell them all the time, the math is important. PJ Strong, Victor, right? The math is important, right? Know the math, know what your house edge is, but don't let that be the only thing that drives your play. If you drive your play by low house edge, you're going to also potentially lower your enjoyment of the game, lower your fun level, potentially, okay? Don't let that be the only driver. Don't let comps be your only driver. Back of your mind, I know the math. Back of my mind, I know there's comps. Front of my mind is the money on my rack, which came out of my bank, and I'm trying to make it work, right? That's the thing that we have to get to. So I think that's really, really important stuff. Okay, let's go here. Let's go talk about Mathletes. Whoop, wrong screen. Mathletes. Let's talk about Mathletes. And we've done some house edge stuff, right? We've done, yesterday we did some aggressive line play. We did the ladder up pass line and come bets, which actually worked really good for us. We did a ladder don't pass, which on one shooter was great. The rest of the day it sucked. But you can see kind of where you take the low house edge bets and maximize those through aggressive pressing on those things. I think it's a good way to play. Today I want to talk about short game plays. Okay, short game plays like the wedge or the Butterberg, okay, or like the 66 switch that I do. Short game plays. These are super cool math ways to play the game. And I want to go to the table right now and show you a couple of them, and we'll roll the dice and we'll kind of get through it a little bit here. Let me just switch the light on. I will switch the screen, and let's go play a little bit of short plays. And I want to give you some ideas on short plays and also some of the switch plays. I think the switch play is also a good math play for you. Let's do a couple things. I'm going to remind you of some of the basics of the math here. Okay, let's put the money back in the rack. I'm going to put the rack here. We're not going to play props today at all. Puck will be off. And let me again show you how this probability piece works, okay? Reminder, if you're gonna play all the way across, okay? There's 3 ways to win on a 10. There's 4 ways to win on a 9. There are 4 ways to win the 5, 3 ways to win the 4, 5 ways each for the 6 and the 8. Okay, there's your ways to win if you're betting across, okay? How many ways is that? There's 10, 18, 24 ways to win. There are 6 ways to lose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more of those. I'll put those down on the don't pass where they belong. 6 ways to lose, 24 ways to win, okay? Remember how you calculate the math here, okay? Out of the total number of combinations that there are 30 combinations that result in money exchanging hands. 30 ways to have money exchange hands. 6 ways of those are bad. 24 of those ways are good. If you break all that down, right, what do you have? 6 divided by 36, 1, right? 1/4 or 4 to 1. Your 4 to 1 advantage here. 24 to 6, 4 to 1 advantage to you. Okay. Again, you look at that in the reduced fraction way of looking at it. It's 4 to 1 like this. You're going to put 1 way to lose, 4 ways to win. I'll put them here in the cum so you can see them better. Take all this away just to make it a little bit cleaner on the table. Okay. The overall probability here, or the odds of winning, or the chance of winning, the chance to beat the 7, 4 to 1 is your odds, your probability to win. Okay, the way that you calculate the actual thing is say, well, there's 5 outcomes that can exchange money. Out of the 5 outcomes, 4 of them are good for me. That's 80%. You have an 80% chance to get paid on any number before a 7. That's the allure of the across bet. That's the allure of the across bet. You're a 4 to 1 favorite, 80% chance to win. You're laying basically against the 7. Okay. Now, the way that mathematics works is that's fine. 80% chance to do it one time. Cool. Let's run it. Let's get a number. We got a yo. I'm going to get a number here. We're going to talk about it here in a second. There is a 10. Okay. We go across. Let's go 160 across. Right now, 24 ways to get paid, 1 way to lose it all. Essentially, you're laying 130 or 160 to win 35. You're laying against the 7 here. 80% chance to win right now. Let's see if we beat the odds. We beat the odds. We do. We get a 6. Okay. So good. Now there's 2 ways to look at the next roll. Okay. The very next roll. What's the odds in chat? Tell me right now. What are the odds of winning the next roll? What are the odds of getting paid on the very next roll? Somebody say it in chat, please. I'll give you a second to write that in, but I want to know what it is, because this is a confusing piece to the math, and I want to make sure that you all are very, very, very in tune with this. Somebody type it in. What's the odds right now of the next roll getting paid before the 7? What are my chances? 50% says mark the point. You are wrong. 66, you are wrong. What is the chance right now that the next roll that I beat the 7 right now? This is very, very interesting. Closer to 0 than 100. Let's do it. I'm gonna try and switch screens. Let me switch screens here. Let's go to. Can I do this? Can I do this? Not that one. This one. All right. Let me go here. Can you see if I write? Oh, my stupid pen. Let me hold on a second. I want to make sure that we are able to see this. Hold on a second. I know this is kind of boring here, but I want to make sure that we're in line with each other. There we go. Okay. Now we can see. Let's do this. Let's actually do. I think this is white. Yeah. All right. The first time, right? You're 24 to 6, which is 4 to 1. Okay. If that's 5 outcomes, right? So if you take 4 divided by 5. That's 80%. That's how we do the first calculation, right? That's your chance of the across bets coming with a number before the 7. That's how you calculate it, okay? On that first roll, okay? On the second roll, what are my chances? It's the exact same. Skill and luck has it. It's the exact same. It's the same. It does not change, right? You hear this, dice have no memory? Dice, sorry that the text is not clear because the background. Dice have no memory, right? It's the same. It's 80%. It never changes. Roll to roll to roll. It's always going to be the same 80%. Always the same 80% chance to win. Now the difference is, and where I will tell you the other math works, if we know that doing it once or one time, one times is 80%. Okay. If you were to say, I'm going to bet $100 or 160. I'm going to bet 160, right? You have an 80% chance to win. If I say, I'm going to bet you 160 that you can't do it twice. Now the odds are to do it 2 times, it's 80% times 80%. Now you get into the 60s. And what does that look like? 0.8 times 0.8, it's 0.64. 64%. Okay? If you say, I'm going to bet you 160 that you can't do it 3 times, that's 80% times 80% times 80%. What does that equal? 0.8 times, times 0.8 times 0.8, that is 51.2%. So we'll say 51%. There are your answers. Okay? This is where the math escapes a lot of folks. Okay? And I want to make sure that we're clear on that because it really does impact, let me get back to the screen. It really does impact your betting decisions. You have to know that. Okay? Right now, I've got the 6. Our 80% chance to win worked. The very next roll, right? It's still 80% chance that I'm going to beat the 7. I have an 80% chance for these bets to resolve for me right now. The difference is if I said ahead of time, I'm going to put these bets out here. Let's leave this out. I'm going to put these bets up here, and I'm going to for sure take 2 shots at it. Right? I'm going to look to win $70. If my predilection is I'm going to win $70, now I'm going to say, let's get a point. It's the 4. Right? If I'm going to go 1 shot and down, 1 hit and down, 80% chance to win. If I say I'm going to take 2 hits before I go down, we know now that it's 64% chance I can get 2 hits and come down, right? We might get lucky. Here's the 7. We didn't get it that time, okay? So that was the 20% rear ring and suckly head. Let's do it again and repeat. And I'll show you how hard this shit is, right? Now we're going to say there's a 10, right? 80% chance to get 1 and down. There's a 6. We got 1. We'll mark those up here. I'll put a black chip down here on the pass line. There's 1. We got 1. Okay. But if we had said I'm going to stay up for 2 hits, 2 hits and down, there's a 64% chance that these bets resolve for me. Okay. There's a 9. We got it. Okay. 64%. Now I'm done. Right. If I'm saying I'm going to take 2 hits and come down, 64% chance I pull that off. If I was going to say ahead of time, I'm going to take 3 hits and come down, like the Butterberg or like the wedge, it's 50% that I ever get to pull the bets down. Okay, there's a 1, 2, 3. That roll doesn't count. It's not part of our universe of outcomes here, right? There's the 7. We don't get the 3rd hit. Okay, so half the time you're going to get 3 hits that resolve for you. Half the time you're not. If you're looking for 2 hits and down, you got about a 65% chance or so to get 2 hits before you come down. When you're playing the math way, I'm not saying playing the math way, but knowing the math, you got to know the math. You got to know that if you're saying, I'm going to go 1 hit and out, right? For those of you who want to play like a big regression, like 640 across, right? Take your 140 and come back out there at 110 inside, fine. If you're going to play the squeeze play, what does the squeeze play math look like? This is why the squeeze play it's an interesting system, I think. Let's take a look at the squeeze play, right? The same rules are going to apply here, right? Here you've got, instead of 24 ways to win, though, you've got 18 ways to win up here, right? You're taking off the 6 ways to get the 4 and 10. You have 18 versus 6, 3-to-1 advantage, 75%. 75% that one of these bets resolves before the 7, right? Then you're going to come back out here to 80%. So you're going to be 75% times 80% is how you do the math on that to get those two things to resolve. 75% times 0.8 is going to be, what is that? Do the math real quick. 0.75 for the first one times 0.8 for the second one is going to be a 60% chance that you can get the squeeze play to pay. That's really hard to do. You got to know, even on the shortest of short games like a squeeze play, how hard it is. Again, it's a 2-roll bet that you're making. You're not making a 1-roll bet, you're making a 2-roll bet. Okay, roll 1, of course, a point doesn't matter. Right now we're going to say we're going to burn the 220. Was it 8? Yeah, we're going to burn the 220 for 2 rolls. We got to survive 2 rolls, which means we have a 60% chance this works. That's why the squeeze play, when I've played it, I've watched Ian Olson play it, I've watched people play this thing and lose their ass on it because they don't realize that you only got a 60% chance that it freaking works, right? It seems like a smart play, but you're putting 220 at risk that the 7's going to get beat twice. And it's a descending probability that it works, right? There's a 3, it doesn't matter. There is a 5, which does. That's one of our hits, so we got 1. Okay, we can actually play it out. 35 there, 35 here. Now we have an 80% chance on this roll to win, but again, to survive the 2 total rolls, it's only 60% because we burned that first one. We got a 10 and we're good. This time the squeeze play works, okay? And here, the way that this thing works out is $70. Here's what it is. There's your $70. There's the 70 you won on the first roll, right? All this money comes back to you. Squeeze play is cool, right? It's a great short game regression because what you've got left here is 100, 25, 40, 140 to play with, right? That's great. That's great. That's 110 inside and 15 on the outsides, right? And you're playing craps across for free, right? That's skill and luck. That's the snowflake play, right? Squeeze play becomes a snowflake play because you're playing this without any risk. It's nice, but only 60% of the time can you get here, which means 40% of the time you're going to burn. You're going to burn. What does the math on that tell you? This is why right side play, to quote Greg from 555 Craps, is broken. Okay? If you have a 40% chance that it's not going to work, what does that mean for you? That means 40% of the time, 4 times out of 10, you're going to lose $220, 4 times out of 10. Okay? Let's put it out there. I'm going to show it to you in dollars because it's going to really hurt. There's 220. There's 220. I need more red chips. 220. 220. Do the math. How much money is that? Right? If probability holds and the squeeze play fails 4 out of 10 times, which it will, again, 75% chance to beat the first inside bets, 80% here, you're going to lose it 4 out of 10 times. So you're going to be down 2, 4, 6, 800, and 20, 40, 60. You're going to be down 880 if you're playing it. Remember that, 880. The 6 times that it works, how much are you going to be up, folks? Put it in chat right now. 60% of the time squeeze play works. How much will you be ahead if the squeeze play works and you're out here across? Put it in chat right now. Let's see if you're paying attention. You're going to lose and be down 880 4 times, guaranteed. How much are you going to be up if you're playing the squeeze play the way you're supposed to play it? Put it in there. Somebody write it out. 6% of the time it works every time. There you go, Midmo-yo. No, seriously, what is the math? What is the math? 840. Jen says 840. You're right and you're wrong all at the same time, okay? Somebody else put in a different number for me because I'm going to show you what it actually comes out to, right? You're going to win 140, right? This is going to net you 140 to play with, right? 140 times 8 is, what's 140 times 8? Somebody tell me, what's 140 times 8? I can do it. 1 or times 6. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 times 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, this is good. I know my table's a freaking mess right now, but let's just do it. Let's do it. What is this? I'm going to tell you why you're all dumbasses too, right? What is 6 times 140? Is that what that is? 6 times 140 is 840? Okay. Yeah? Okay. So if, big giant if you're smart enough, or if you're ballsy enough, or if you have the cojones to do the squeeze, play, and walk, right? You would have 840. You would lose 880. You'd be down $40. Welcome to the house edge. Okay, that's what house edge is. That's why the casino beat your ass. Okay, that's your ADT, by the way. That's your average Joey theoretical right in front of you. There's $40. You're a $40 player to the casino. Okay, now, what's the reality of this? The reality of this is this. You're going to lose the 880, right? But see, you guys are all saying this, right? 6 times whatever that win is, right? Maybe, right? That's where this comes from. What's the reality, folks? What are you putting out there? You're taking the squeeze play. You're going to lose the 880, 4 times 220. You're going to put the 140 right the fuck back out there, and you're going to lose it on the 7. So your reality is you're going to lose probably 840, right? Unless you're on a great collect and press. If you're doing a half press type thing, you might bring $50 off that table before the 7 comes. Remember, every roll that's not a 7 brings you closer to it. We'll talk about that here in a minute too. You get closer to the 7 every single roll when you're across. Yeah? Most people squeeze play, put it all back out there, and then comes the 7. So you're not 840 versus 880. You're 880 versus probably 150 or $200 in wins. That's why right side's broken. This is where you have a chance to win. You have opportunity, which is what David says, but the reality of the situation is most of the time, you're going to go, yay, I did it. 140 across, please. 7. 140 across, please. Let's take 2 hits, and it's going to be a 7. You're going to burn all of this, right? If you're a short game person and you're aware of the math and you've got the stones to do it, the squeeze play can put $140 in your rack in those 2 rolls if you're willing to walk away, right? That's the difference between me and most people. I would squeeze play, and if I'm early in it, I might give it a run, 140, but I'll tell you what, the squeeze play to me, that's a simple 140, right? You pull the squeeze play off twice before you get beat, that's luck, right? That's 280, and you're out. You buy in for $1,000, you hit it twice, you're out. That's short game thinking. Because you know what the odds are. Now you know the odds, right? You know the odds of saying, I'm gonna burn this money because I'm gonna let it sit twice. The math on a bet sitting out there 2 times is twice the probability. Or the probability squared, rather. Sorry, probability squared. That's what you're looking at here when you're looking for more than 1 hit on a strategy. And if you stay out there forever, if you go 160 across and stay there forever, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? It's 80%, times 80%, times 80%, times 8. And before you know it, you're down. That's why they say the 7's coming, when they say the 7 is due, right? If you say, I'm going to stay out here for 5 hits. I'm such a good shooter. My name is Alfredo Leon, and I'm a great shooter. And I'm going to go 160 across, and my ass is staying out here for 5 shots because I know that I can get 5 box numbers. I'm the bone thrower. Right, makes $7 million a year playing craps because he says you roll 5 numbers and you can retire playing craps, right? What is the probability of putting 160 across out there, right? Do the math now. What's the probability of this 5 hits? What's the chance of you getting 5 hits before the 7? It's 0.8, 80% to the 5th power. 0.80 times 0.80 times 0.80. If you're going to stay out for 5 rolls, and do a full press for 5 rolls, that all-in betting that wins you $3 million a year, that's the math. Let's do it together. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go, let's go to here again. Let's do the math one more time. Let's do, I'm on the wrong screen. Let's go 0.8, whoops, over here I'll do it. So you can see it. 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.8. So there it is. It's a 32% chance that you're going to get 5 hits. It's crazy. right? But again, if your predilection is, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to let these bets sit here for 5 hits and I'm not going to pull anything back. I'm going to go all in betting, right? You're looking at burning 70% of the time. You're not going to get that to work, right? That's got to be an eye opener for you, right? If you're going to be out here for 5 rolls and you're going to collect every time and not press them every time, different story. 5 times 35 is going to put you actually in profit, right? You'll actually be close to even on the roll and you can be out. Different story if you're going to reduce your risk as you go. For example, let's do a little wedge, right? Again, it's a 3-roll guarantee. So I'm looking at 0.8, 80% to the third power, 80% cubed, right? There's a 10, 3 rolls. I'm going to burn 160 for 3 rolls. I'm going to let it sit there. I've got to get that math to work for me. Short game play. 3 rolls is all I need. Okay. That's going to pay $50. I'm going to pay it like that. I'm going to take those 2 down. I'm going to come back down here at table minimum and reduce my risk. Okay. So now I've got, I'll put it up here so you can see it. There's the first one, right? We're still at risk, right? We're still saying we're going to let our money sit there for 3 rolls. I still have the same probabilities of losing what I have out here. What I have out here is progressively less. So when you're doing a timed play like this, right? Got to beat the 7 X number of times and you're reducing your risk. The math doesn't change of win percentage, but the risk level does. There's a 6, a 5, 1, 6. That pays also $35. Okay. We're going to take the 5 and 9 down. Let's get them both looking like $10. I need to get some change here. Okay. There's 5. And here we go. What's our risk level now? We started with 160. We've got 100, 25, 145. We're $15 at risk now. We're still upside down. We're $15 upside down. And we're fighting that 3rd roll. We have to get the 3rd roll to make the whole thing work. We got to beat that 7 3 times. This time we happen to get it done. That's awesome. We're going to get paid $14 here. We're going to bring our 6 and 8 down, make them both look like 12. And here's our money back. There's 100, 50, 160. That's our starting bankroll. There's our $35 in guaranteed profit. We're playing 64 across. That's the wedge, right? But the wedge, as good of a strategy as it may seem, has to beat the 7 3 times, 80% cubed to make this work, right? Less than 50% of the time it's going to be. Less than 50% of the time can you ever get to this point. When I ran the wedge as a daily paycheck, it lost. It lost 2 out of 5 days because we're fighting that math the whole time. So I want you to make sure you understand what it takes to win a bet. It takes a lot to win a series of bets multiple times. That's why right side pressing is the only way to make big money. It's also the guaranteed way to lose money because you're fighting that all the time. Okay, we say the 7 gets closer. I'm a person that believes the 7 is never due, right? I don't believe that it's due because you rolled 8 times. What I do believe is that if I say to you ahead of time, I'm gonna bet you 160 that you can't roll a 7 within the next 10 rolls, that's where the math will fight you. But on a roll by roll basis, I don't think it's due. I never believe that. But I will say this, if you're gonna bet ahead of time, you know, $100 that you can't roll, you can roll 10 numbers before a 7. That's where that math will get you, man. It'll get you. So here we go. Victor, get out of my head. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, but let's go back to the best screen of all, the screen where we get to see my shiny bright face. I hope that was helpful today. I actually plan to roll more dice and play a little bit, but we're getting up on 9 o'clock here, and I want to make sure we have time to wrap everything up. The math can be hard. It can be heavy, right? The math can be heavy sometimes, I think, because it's daunting. When you look at the math of the game, you're like, fuck, there's just no way to win, right? The math is fighting you the entire time, and it's really hard to plan a strategy out that's going to beat that because you can't beat that, right? It takes a little bit of luck and takes a little bit of balls to say, you know what, 80% chance to win. I got a number. Like, can you walk away from that and let it happen again on another shooter, right? Can you do the 66, skill 66, which is 2 rolls of inside numbers, right? And we can look, let's do that real quick. Let's go over here. Let's go here, and let's run really quick the skill 66, which is inside betting. So there's 18 numbers versus 6 numbers, right? Reduce that down. It's 3 to 1. So you're going to do 3 divided by 4, which is 75% chance to get one hit. So to go from 66 to 88, 75% chance that happens. To go from 88 to 44, which is the regression, that's going to be 0.75 times 0.75, which is 56%. So a little better than half the time the skill 66 actually works. I like the strategy, but here's where you are, 50-something% that it actually works. It's tough. Tough way to make a living, man. It's really tough. And that's why I like these things. I think they're fun, but we got to be aware of the math. Be aware that you're fighting that math all the time. Okay? That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Corey is already calling people out. I love it. I love it. Let's go here. Sorry about that. I had to go here. Corey says, come see the Mathlete play on Friday night. Sith Lord SB. Who are you playing on Friday? Who's your competitor? Is it Galenar? I got to see who you're playing. But yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. When will I be doing the call? I don't know, Nemo. I'll get to it probably next week. My schedule is I'm doing the schedule flip at work. So I'm working like 9 to 9 every day this week and all day Saturday, trying to get prepped up for my new role at my job. Next week, I go from noon to 9. So my mornings will be open. I may just go ahead and roll it out one day after the paycheck. So someday next week, I'll get it done for sure. I'm just delayed because of schedule. So what else is going on? What else is happening? Oh, look at all the questions. Let's see. Try the half and full cycle. I have to watch the videos. You did that with Chris. I'll have to watch the videos and see how that works out. Might not be a bad way to do a paycheck thing. Let's see. Without the math and horns, the bets for 2 bets is different. No, it's not. So remember how the math on this thing works. Let me go back over here. The math works like this. Maybe I'm speaking at a turn here, but let's do this. The math is, let's say you've got the inside bets. I'm sorry for the side of my head here, but yeah, the inside bets, there's 18 ways to win them, and there's 6 ways to lose them, right? That's supposed to be a 6, right? 6 ways to lose, 18 ways to win. This discounts everything else, right? So if you put 24 marbles into a bag, all you care about when you calculate these probabilities is the outcomes where money changes hands. The horn numbers, so this basically discounts the horn and the 4 and the 10. Those go away in this calculation. You don't count the ones that don't matter. What I'm calculating for you, 18 divided by 6, or 3 out of 1, or ultimately it's going to be 3 divided by 4. That calculation is based solely on outcomes where money changes hands. So this is the chance for your inside bets to beat the 7 over multiple rolls, not on a single roll. On a single roll, it's a different calculation. If you're hopping the bet, it is the literal math, right? Here, it's the chance to beat the 7 over multiple rolls because those bets sit there. And that's how you calculate the resolution of bets that are there for longer periods of time. So you're going to reach into the bag, and maybe you're going to grab a blue marble, which is the horn number. It doesn't count, right? This is only the outcomes that matter to you. So out of the outcomes that are the red marbles or the white marbles, which are your wins and your losses, the blues don't count. You just throw them away and you try it again. So that's why that math, that's how that math functions. I hope that was clearer than the first time I explained it. I know it's not obvious and easy to get this stuff, but that's where it is. Let's see, what do we have? Oh my God, the Triple Lux is insanity. The Triple Lux, and again, Triple Lux, Philly Special, the tier pressure, all these super fun, aggressive ways to play are freaking impossible. You need to have a 40 roller for those to work. If you don't get a 40 roller, forget about it. Those are opportunity plays, right? You can win a huge ton of money if the rolls happen. Most of the time, you're going to burn. You're saying, I'm going to let my bets sit out there forever. You're doing like the 80% thing for 50 rolls. 80% to the 50th power is what it takes to make a triple Lux work, right? Or whatever that first collection is. It's really, really hard to get these right side strategies to work. And it's just know it, right? Just know. And I guess, the point of all this today, besides the math, is the short game, right? Knowing that it's even for 3 rolls, it's 50%. You're not going to get 3 rolls because of the way that works. Know that going into it and have 1 or 2 roll plays. That's why like the snowflake stuff we talk about, the unicorn plays where you're in and you're out quick. That's why that's such an important way to play. To me, if I'm going to go full right side, I got to be out of that hand in 2 rolls. I got to be out of there with a better than 50% chance of getting it to work so I can play for, risk-free, so to speak. Because getting it 3, 4, 5 is hard, man. And again, it's the mindset of I'm going to leave my bets out there 4 or 5 rolls. When you say that ahead of time, that's when you're fighting 80% to the 5th power math. If you're saying on a roll by roll basis, I'm going to change my mind, then you're 80% chance on every single roll to make the next one work. It'll melt your brain sometimes to do that, but there it is. Okay, I think we're done. I think that's all the questions. That's all the comments. That was my final thought for the day. We're going to color up and just say that's it. Be careful. Know the math. If you have a strategy out there, know what it takes for it to pay itself off, to pay for itself, number 1, and put money in the rack, number 2. And don't be afraid to walk, right? The skill 66, right? I'm going to show it to you one more. My final thought would be to show you that strategy one more time. I'm going to show you the way that I enjoy playing it the most. Okay, let's do it.